I'm hoping to make this a short video because I'm about to go in for my counseling appointment. So I'm out here and there's a tree behind me, and there's something I want to talk about. See, it's sort of well known at this point. Anybody who's followed me for a long time, my views. They know I'm vegan. I'm against, eating animal products. They know I'm atheist. They know a lot of things about me. And one of those things that's very important is how anti-sexual I am. I mean, it doesn't take very long listening to me to find out my views on sex, that sex is evil. And I was recently expressing my views on sex and why it's evil, and explaining how, people, they hide sexuality from their children. The G-rated movies or the E-rated video games are for everyone. It doesn't matter. You can be a 3-year-old child, but it's safe. But basically, my point was that was an example that, people hide sexuality from their children, and they don't want them to see sexual movies or play sexual video games and stuff like that. And my opinion is that the very reason why people do this is because sex is not innocent. People don't want their children to be having sex when they're young, and people certainly don't want adults having sex with children. And why is that? Because sex is harmful. And it's like adults can play Minecraft with a child under the age of 10, for example, and that's all right. But having sex with a child that age is not. Why? Because no harm comes from playing Minecraft or other video games. Although some, it's arguably, the very violent or sexual video games, which people don't let kids at that age play anyway. You know what I'm saying? The very point is that because people know sex is harmful, because they know that even if it's not always harmful, it has the potential for harm. That is my contention. That is my opinion. That is basically why I am an anti-sexual. It's not just about me and my personal experiences. Yes, I've had horrible experiences in my childhood, but that's not enough of a reason alone why I view sex as evil. And it's not just the fact that it results in procreation either, although that is probably number one right there. That's the number one reason it's evil. You know what I mean? Because if nobody had sex, then humans would completely go extinct, which is precisely what I want, so they can't hurt the animals, I don't really like the other animals having sex either, but I can't even communicate my ideas to them, so it's irrelevant. But that's my opinion, and you can take it for what it's worth. You can agree or disagree. I have a feeling that probably 99.9% of the humans on this planet are going to disagree with me because they like having sex. Why do they like it? Because it gives their genitals pleasure. And because something gives them pleasure, they will justify it. It's no different than people who like the smell or the taste of bacon, and they use, well, this makes me feel good, this gives me pleasure, so I'm going to continue murdering pigs so that I can eat them. Basically, sexual people are no different than carnists in my view. And I often feel depressed and kind of hopeless because even if the whole world went vegan, which would be nice, people will probably never realize that sexuality is truly harmful. It's truly harmful. And it's not just about the procreation though. That's probably number one, but aside from that, the fact that people's relationships are centered around that they specifically choose people to marry or have as their partner because of sex, because they're attracted to them sexually. That's why. Now, I may have a relationship with somebody someday. I may meet a special somebody, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to do sexual things with genitals, because I think it's evil. It's harmful. It's disgusting. It's gross. It spreads disease. And there's the risk of procreation, unless you're gay or you've been sterilized. You know what I mean? Well, that's my opinion, and I've probably said enough, but that is my opinion as an anti-sexual. I say I'm asexual, which is true because I don't have no desire for it, but even if I did, I wouldn't do it because it's wrong. Just like the fact that I like the taste of cheese doesn't mean that I'm going to eat it anymore. Not unless it's the vegan cheese, which is made entirely from plants, which we have that now. People don't need to eat traditional cow cheese. So that's my point. Sexuality and carnism are no different. They're pretty much the same thing because people justify hurting others so they can get pleasure. And that's really all I have to say about that. So, goodbye, and I hope you've enjoyed this in some way, but you probably haven't.